Hi, this is Kim Peck at My Stamping Garage. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card. This is the fourth card in my October card kit. I send out card classes to go, which means everything is pre-cut and ready for you to assemble when it comes to you. In the kit are enough supplies to make 12 different cards, 3 each of 4 different designs, and this is the 4th design in this month's kit. If you're interested in the kits or want more information, you can email me at kpeckstamp@gmail.com. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I want to show you some of the items I used to make this card. I used this Peaceful Deer bundle. Actually, I only used the stamp. So it's the Deer Builder Punch that's down here on the bottom of page 26 in the holiday catalog. And it does coordinate with this stamp set. So if you buy both as a bundle, you get 10% off. But the punch by itself is wonderful too. So I also used, for these trees, I used this Evergreen Border Punch in the annual catalog on page 147. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I used, for the circles, I did use that layering circle dies set as well. So I want to show you one thing. This deer comes from this paper. This was a celebration item that just ended at the end of September. So if you didn't get it this time, sorry, but do be aware that the next celebration items come out and will be available for customers starting in January. And it goes from January to February, so don't miss that. For every $50 that you spend at that point, you will get to choose a free celebration item. This will not be one of the items, unfortunately, but I know a lot of you did get this. So I wanted to show you a couple ways to use this paper. First of all, you will notice that the punch itself only punches out the deer that are going this way. So you only get 4 out of one sheet. And I was like, oh, that's going to be tough. So instead, I want to show you a way that you can get more than just those 4. So what I did was I cut between the deer, and you kind of have to be careful so you don't cut their feet or ears off, but there is a point where you can get it without doing that. So I'm going to take this strip that I just did. And if you notice, when I turn this punch over, that is not going to work. It doesn't line up. The deer needs to be going the other direction. So what I did instead was I punched kind of a template on a piece of paper, and then I put just a little bit of adhesive near the edges, and I turned it over, and then I turned this paper over. Let me bring my light in so you can see what I did. I turned the light so that when it's up like this, you can see the image of the deer through there. I hope you can see that on camera. And then what I did was I just placed the template over the top of that so that the deer is showing through. I don't know if you can see that, but I sure hope you can. So with my template, I just line it up so that my deer is showing through. Hopefully you can see that. Let me move this just a little bit this way so I can see my deer. And now that I've probably blinded you with that light, I'm going to lay this down and adhere it down. And then I'm going to take my punch, and now it will line up. So I'm going to just line that up with the lines that I have there and punch it. And then your deer will be on the other side. I slipped a little bit when I did that, but that's how you will get the deer going the opposite direction. That way you can use all of the images that are on that page. So if you have some of that paper and you were frustrated because you could only punch out 4 of them on the page, now you know how to get all of them punched out. So, okay, let's go ahead and go on from there. I used my white as the base. So this is the basic white. And there is a thick weight and a thin weight. So I used the thinner one just because we were going to have a lot of layers on this card. But if you want a nice sturdy card base, the thick is the way to go. Next, I took a piece of the crumb cake, and your flyer that comes with your kit will have all of this stuff listed and the sizes and everything, so you'll know if you want to repeat it, you'll have information on how to do that. So for this piece, it's a crumb cake piece. Oh, something's not cut correctly. Let's see. I bet I didn't cut off the end of that. Nope. All right. Thankfully, I have my cutter right here. Looks like I cut one side and not the other. Hopefully, I didn't do that on yours. So I'm going to cut that to the correct length, which would be 4 1/4. So I'm going to just lay that at 4 1/4. Whoops. No, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So there's 5 1/2. So now it should be the right size. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have my basic white, and then I took a piece of crumb cake and cut it just a little bit smaller. And I used the Time Worn Type embossing folder on that. That is also in your holiday catalog, that mini catalog. So there is the folder itself, and it's got that Time Worn Type. So I've pre-done that for you. Do be careful, because some of the words you can see, and so you might want to just make sure you have them the right side up so it doesn't look funny. But most of them you can't see. I just ran out of my adhesive. Okay, so I've got that piece on. Next, I'm going to take this piece that was also in this pack with the deer. And let me see if I have another adhesive right here to grab. I do, thankfully. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere that piece. And what I did with this one, I took it up about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. There you go. Then next, I'm going to take my circles, and I'm going to use the real red one first. And I'm going to put that so that it's a little bit down from the top and overlapping this. I probably went a little more than 1/4 inch, maybe 1/2 inch from the top. And then my white piece goes next, and that you can all adhere down because none of that's going to get popped up. Same thing with your trees. That punch that made the trees, you can actually make a border that goes for as long as you want it, but I chose to just use one set because that's what would fit. So put my trees down, and then you are going to take your deer, which my poor deer is not in super great shape because I tried to do him quickly, but it'll work. So we're going to pop that up with dimensionals. Yours will look better than this deer. The other thing is, if you didn't want that white border, you could just punch these from the other side and go like that too. I like the white border around it, but maybe since this one isn't exactly even, I'll just use the back side. And I used a couple of dimensionals on that. Take the backing off and turn him over. And you've got your little deer there. And then the last thing you'll need to do is choose your saying. I'm going to do the Merry Christmas, but there's a season's greetings, happy holiday, thinking of you if you don't want it to be a Christmas card. So you could do just about anything on this one. And I popped that up with 2 dimensionals as well. And there is our finished card. This one, we're not putting a white one in, obviously, because it's got white already. So if you have any questions about my card kits or any of the cards that I did, you can contact me at kpeckstamp@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.